Council will come to order. Welcome, everyone. This is the first public hearing in relation to the proposed budget for fiscal year 21-22. I declare it open, and the person signed up on the sign-up sheet is Marvin Cerruto.
Good evening. Marvin Cerruto, 100 Star Street, Norwich, Connecticut, the United States of America. And I'll surprise everybody, I'll be pretty mellow tonight. So we're going to increase the budget $2.5 million. 2.4 of it goes to education. And that's 92% of the budget increase going to education. With 3,266 students, that means each year we're spending over $25,000 a student. I don't know what those numbers are like nationally. I'm going to do a little more research on it. But over the course of 12 years, we spend over $300,000 on a student. And it seems as though there's got to be a better way than raising our mill rate every year. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be something more efficient. And that's all I'm saying. I wish I could come in here with a plan that really works, but I don't have one. But it just seems as though there's got to be something better to it. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Larry Rice.
Am I allowed to take this off?
We haven't been. Yeah.
Larry Rice, property owner on Well Road, Norwich. And thank you for your time tonight. First, I'd like to say good evening, and I want to say thank you to each one of you for the hard work that you've done for the city of Norwich. And I'm sure everything that you do is in the interest of the taxpayers. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. As you know, from March 2020 to the present, many taxpayers of the city of Norwich have suffered greatly because of the pandemic. An article in the Bulletin newspaper dated April 13th, the headline was, "Long lines for free food persisted." And I want to thank the mayor for all the Mondays that he's gone over there and helped all the people that are in need of this food. There are taxpayers in Norwich that can't afford to buy food for their family. They can't afford to pay their utility bills. They are probably going to have a difficult time paying their taxes in July. It was a very difficult time for the citizens of Norwich. And the city manager feels it's all right to increase the 2021-22 budget by 4.39%. I call this inappropriate, disrespectful, and unnecessary to the taxpayers of this city. I'm sorry for my hip. I had a shot today, so I'm sorry for my... let's see here. The education budget, 2.5% increase, now totaling $86.3 million. The city manager called the proposal increase for this district schools generous. He got that right. However, the school superintendent remains adamant that the increase should be 3.95%. The city manager further put into his budget a fire services director, I call it a fire marshal in different terms. This is not necessary. I don't believe that the city manager has received any complaints from anybody regarding the 5 volunteer fire chiefs and the 1 paid fire chief in this city. So another $100,000 in the budget for a wasteful babysitter is not necessary. Getting back to the schools. An article in the Bulletin dated December 14th, $2.4 million in cash by the taxpayers, was stolen by the taxpayers of this city from people who send their kids here to this school district from Westerly, Rhode Island, Colchester, Willimantic, and every other town that you can think of. I would like to know why the city council and no one else has addressed this issue to any taxpayer of this town and think that this is all right. Never got any answers from any of these things that are going on. Probably children are still going to school illegally in this city and getting paid by the taxpayers.
Excuse me, please summarize.
And my last thing I'd like to know is that it's in all your hands to make this budget right for the taxpayers of this city in a pandemic and in a time that we are hurting. And that's the last thing I got to say. So I hope you make this budget right for 1 year, at least 1 year, to help the taxpayers out of the city of Norwich. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Rodney Bowie? Again, please state your name, address for the public record.
Rodney Bowie, 62 Roosevelt. You folks have heard me up here too many times about these budgets. 35 years ago, I spoke before a council. I said the education budget was like a locomotive driving this city. Now, when a person going to NFA can sit in front of my wife and can't do 9 and 7 and have it come out 16, and he's in high school, we're doing something wrong. Now, I think we've gotten away from the concept of education, for one. Doing too much woke business, maybe, in the school system. Taking up too much time on things like that. We didn't even hear of those things when I was going to school. It wasn't until I got high school that I even had civics. Now, we've got to keep the education budget low. We want to have good schools, and whatever decision you folks make is fine with me. I may not like it, but I'll pay it. But you have to keep in the back of your mind that business out here looks at good schools, taxes, and I used to be an electrician, and I still remember bringing a whole factory up from down in Florida to Pratt Whitney in East Hartford. A whole factory. I was hooking up 5 machines a day. Now, they couldn't stand the taxes. The taxes were driving them out of the state of Florida. We don't want to have that. We've already driven enough business out of this state that it's beginning to hurt the state. I may be, well, I'm on my last legs, but we've got a lot of young people out here that are going to be buying homes and trying to pay the taxes on these houses and on utilities. It's too much. Thank you. And I do appreciate you folks doing this.
Thank you,
Really,
sir.
I have not been over the budget this year. I just haven't felt up to it.
Thank you again. Would anyone else like to speak to the council tonight regarding the proposed budget? Would anyone else like to speak this evening? Would anyone else like to speak this evening? Seeing no one else is here, I then declare this public hearing to be closed, and thank you for coming.